Okay, so this is my online collaboration project presentation and video. My name is Leanna Garfoot, and I am the only person in my group. Okay, so part one is going to be me reviewing the website. Perfect, here we go. So the title of my activity is Staying Healthy. It is pretty straightforward. This is about children developing a healthy lifestyle, mentally, physically, nutrition, as well as like being active. I'll just go ahead and summarize the description here. Good eating habits. They're wanting these children to understand what is going into their bodies and how to keep their bodies healthy. Um, the cool part about this activity is students will be sharing and discussing the types of food associated with their culture and traditions, and then being able to share them with other classes and other groups. Go on down here. So the student age levels, it says primary, middle, or secondary. Obviously, for me, this would be a primary activity in my elementary school classroom, probably in like 8 or 9-year-olds. But the nice thing about this project is you are able to kind of modify it for whatever age group you'd like to do it with. So a couple of the classroom activities there is calculating calories. This is really interesting just to be able to look into those nutrition fact labels and understand what you're putting into your body and how to make those healthy choices. Same with this My Plate concept. There is a website for that that has some like good tutorials and videos and walkthroughs that you would be able to do with your students. And then this is kind of the main punch here is creating this class cookbook. So each student is going to be bringing a favorite food recipe from home that they think is part of a healthy, balanced diet. And this will be shared on a forum using Flipgrid, social media, and students will be able to share this with different cultures in different classrooms. And then expected outcome, we will have a global cookbook of healthy food recipes with cultural history and importance of that food. All right, head back to my presentation here. So part two, the materials that I'm going to need to make this possible. I kept my list pretty broad, but I will go ahead and explain each bullet point here. The first one is super straightforward. I'm going to have some example nutrition labels in order to teach kids how to read those and to do that calorie counter, which leads us to the next one. The food calorie counter is a resource that is available on the iEarn website, so that I won't have to go out of my way to do. I just will have to access that and share that with my students. The third point is definitely the hardest. The students are expected to bring in a home recipe. I know that it can be hard to make sure that students do this or have time to talk to their parents about it. So as a backup plan, I'm thinking I would probably bring in a couple of my home recipes so that if a student wasn't able to get one from their home, that they would be able to still participate in the group activity. And then fourth, computers. This will be used for a couple different things. One for creating their recipe online, whether they're typing it out or creating a video explaining it, as well as either Zooming or like Google Meet with the classroom in other cultures. And then Wi-Fi connection, obviously, to be able to use our devices. And then my part three is the ISTE justification. So this is about my standards. For 7A, with guidance from an educator, students with technology tools work with friends and people outside of their neighborhood, city, and beyond. This applies to our activity because students will be sharing and trading recipes with students from different parts of the world. So this gets them out of their classroom and exploring and sharing with other cultures and people. For 7B, fairly similar guidance from an educator. They use technology to communicate and look at problems from a different perspective. The students will have to problem solve and share on how they're going to share the recipe. So if they're going to make Flipgrids or if they're going to just create a like PDF cookbook where they're all just going to type theirs out and design theirs. 7C, with guidance from an educator, students take on a different team role using appropriate technologies. So I would say using Flipgrid or Zoom to communicate with the other students applies to this standard, as well as my classroom as a whole deciding how they're going to present their recipes to their friends in the other country. And 7D, with guidance from an educator, students use age-appropriate technologies to work together and understand just solutions. We'll be creating an end product of on an appropriate shareable program of our cookbook. So that will be using appropriate technologies and suggesting a solution to share that. And then the additional standard I chose to share is 4A. Students explore and practice how design process works to generate ideas, consider solutions, plan to solve a problem, or create innovative products that are shared with others. This applies directly to my project because we will be sharing our product of our recipe from home with others. So deciding how they're going to design and share their recipe would apply to that. And this is my works cited, just links to the iEarn Collaborative Center for my Staying Healthy project. Thank you.